After watching the process of Taiwan's manufacturing Canon Sense, I finally understood why Taiwan's kitchen knives can be sensitive at home and abroad. Just a knife. They have selected military eggshells to build, and its degree of sealing is to blow hair and suppress small encouragement. Even the water supercar in front of him, it is just a platform. Here is an iron shop in Nantou, Taiwan, China. People give the nickname Kitchen Knife King. The Kitchen Knife King has their own iron baby. This is the artillery eggshell, which belongs to the 1958 first class, down the rare hard paste, making the cannon cape, low-cloaked mend. Blatantly, the first thing to do is to clean the cut surface of the eggshell, thus removing the 7 resulting Yuto texts. Avoid late cracking. Then start the cutting machine. Place the eggshell in the center and surround it. 1 piece of eggshell noodles can hit 2 kitchen knives. 1 eggshell can be divided into 4 eggshell surfaces. In other words, a cannon eggshell can make a minimum of 8 kitchen knives. At that time, a total of more than $400,000 were launched. One can imagine what a huge number this is. In the blink of an eye, the knife kick was also openly knocked out. Although this step looks a bit grassy, but its craftsmanship is quite exquisite. You must know that the cannonball can make the nuclear King Kong with a medium probe enough. Neither India nor willfulness can be compared to the field. Compared to ordinary metal branches, it barely has to be wrapped, just big can compete with it. At this time, the blade was already visibly ill. Then break the knife ratio. After hundreds of times repeatedly broken bits, the blade has come to the back of the former so-called. For the future, there are masters, family enterprises, and the sameness in the middle. Look at it through your surroundings. This small table is decades old. In addition to playing some dishes, you can also play some farm tools. Stand in the kitchen set of head. The old man has been a day by day for decades, and a year by year. I have to endure the sound every day. And crying around. But that doesn't affect in the slightest. The old man has the love of shishing. Then keep watching. Measure the level of a knife. Whether the requirements are met. Then take out a piece of printing paper. Draw a model of the finished kitchen knife on it. And the miscellaneous knife will be more than the edge. Cut it all out. A mold is formed. But after the mother and child are finished, the old man put the kitchen knife under the cutting chicken. By cutting to remove more than the edges. Now it doesn't look more like a knife. One front starts to measure the size. First of all, check whether the blade has reached a certain width. Then take out the model you just used and buckle it on. In this way, you can see whether the kitchen knife is released or not. If the size once deviated, also mark and cut out. With the blade processing completed. Now move on to the next worksuit research hole. To this day, workers hold the blade of the knife. The knife is moved and polished. The knife quilt here does not need to go through. So in the grinding process, just use the force mold. And the other side is also processed at this time. Let's take a look at the general appearance of the blade. There is no deviation in size compared to the finished product. It seems that the master of this generous knife is very buying. Now come to the next palace, soup grinding knife courtyard. First of all, take the foot grinder and lay the knife yard well. The process requires a cloud. Thus is a one-time electric hack for all locations. This belongs to the crude memory. It can be regarded as S in the head of the knife to the eye-opening kilometer. Now start with the second to open the person. Compared to the first, this belongs to the pure Shogun Tao total. Each push forward, the knife will drop a piece of embodiment. After subduing the old man, he needed to push it hundreds of times in order to put the edge out of the wind so strong. Then you say that the top and bottom are bodies. Why is the above one easier? Now start with the third to open the person. Time old man took the raw knife and scraped it on the edge without pain. Every time you move, you will scatter a little talk. Compared to the previous two, this tool looks even more pleasantly surprised. So this opening is ready for brittle fire underneath the molding. It doesn't look like it's burning red. Just let the knife burn red and then put oil in it. This is very different from Baotou steel's public welfare. Metal brittleness is mainly used to reduce the brittle row of steel, so as to bring the steel structure into the best human nature. Then stuff the knife kick into the middle and heat it. Let's take out another important accessory knife. Since the top piece of iron is not laborious, let's take a brief break. Then insert the blade into it while it is hot. It's just a bit of a weekend overwhelm. Is this old man just holding the blade of the knife and not probing his hands? Fortunately, the installation process seems to be relatively smooth. A moment later, the blade was mounted on the blade. Now it's time for the industry, which is the most beloved. How can a handmade iron knife be without accruals? Zhu Mingchai Sword King was reinstated by the teacher. Now I will start to take office for the first time. If you don't say that his knife is sealed. Since it is possible to mold a surface to the same amount as the static surface. Hold the weight up a little more. That's probably more than 3 pounds. Today, do you think it's heavy? Now there's the degree of this feud. In front of the gun, it is like tofu and easily cut. This cannon-feeling knife. Everyone thinks he only has a lot of money.